Hello, Alina. Much appreciated for joining to our podcast. So,
Hi,
how's the
yeah.
day going?
Oh, everything is perfect. So it's always a pleasure, to join the Yelif Tech team for the discussion. So I'm flattered.
Previously we had discussion with Artem and Bogdan. So this is my time, my turn. So I'm truly glad that we could make this happen. I'm truly believe that we can initiate this podcast. So today we have quite interesting topic for this podcast, and we were thinking about your services, how you are doing that, and I have a quick question from my end. That's
Mhm.
um, how exactly do you choose developers, and what criteria ensure that the developer is ideally suited for for a given project? What I was thinking from my end that it might be highly personalized because like the platforms like yours select processes like on the hard skills of course and soft skills, but as for my idea in my perfect world, it should be like the golden middle maybe or something like that. But I'm truly want to hear your point of view.
Sure. Actually, that's a good question. Just I would like to maybe highlight first that Aciety is not a platform for picking freelancers. First of all, we work with agencies, IT agencies, digital marketing agencies, which means that at the end of the day, companies are our allies on choosing the best matching developers, product owners, etc., all the technical roles, in fact. So, of course, maybe I should get back one step before I explain how we choose these people. So, step number one is how we choose partners in general, because we receive lots of requests, in fact, from companies who are eager to become ECIT's partner, but we have pretty strict screening because we not just accept anyone who is willing to join ECIT. For us, it's very important to understand that this company will be able to deliver what they promise, to make sure that this company is reliable, and only then they can join our network. So, first of all, companies have the screening interview to make sure that we speak. The same language, that their English, by the way, is fluent, because this is the key criteria. For us, it's self-understandable. However, sometimes there are cases then fluency in English is not sufficient. So that makes it complicated for partners and clients to communicate at the end of the day then. And of course, all the criterias that are related to speed, cost, location as well, and so on. So once the company already becomes a CIT's partner and we have a request where developers are needed, let's narrow down that to developers in an example case. We do the following. First of all, we try to make sure that all the selection criteria of this developer is very precisely clarified, and that company is exactly aware of what kind of person the client is looking for. On another side, we do the same homework with the client as well, because it's not often just it's not enough, sorry, just to say that I'm looking for a .NET developer. I always like to question the clients, like, let's imagine you have two very similar profiles for .NET developers. Based on what criteria would you choose the best matching candidate? Is it price? Is it skills? Is it experience in some technical industry, some business industry, etc., etc.? So, of course, first of all, these are always technical skills, but then what also matters not less is communication, ability to adjust, flexibility, ability to hear client, and so on. And it's also maybe important to mention that we have two types of expectations. Sometimes the company, especially a non-technical company, who is a client, is expecting the developer to come and make the miracle happen. So in fact, we know that it's not working, right? So then we are looking for people who more have skills to communicate with a client, who are not afraid to do that, and so on. And vice versa. In other cases, we have companies who are exactly aware of what they're looking for, what technical skills the person should have, what soft skills maybe the person should have. So then we don't try to reinvent the bike and simply clarify these requirements for our partners who are eager to dedicate their team members to the project, and that's how it goes from there.
So yeah, that's a good point because even in my experience from the previous companies that I've been working with, where some gaps between the communication. For example, when the management hired the people like from the other end of the world, and even when you are working like let's say like the default stuff, this can be like the USA market. So we were working in these time zones, but we had like again from the other end of the world, and we have like about maybe 3-4 hours of our business hours that we could
Mm-hmm.
connect with them. So yeah, that's a good point because also its impact like the culture of your let's say your client's company, because when you are hiring like a different person, it might be like some misunderstanding and all of
Yeah.
this stuff. So yeah, that's a good point, Lena. That's a good point. um I have based like a few more questions based on this one, on our first one, but you know that we are working like at the world of AI and everything of this. So we have quite a global, let's say, IT talent shortage. So I'm interested and how does your company approach help like bridge the gap between demand and supply, and particularly for large scale projects. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for us, I'm always brave enough to say that we can cover, in fact, any needs because Aciety has lots of partners, and these partners are really different between themselves, meaning that we have niche agencies focusing on very specific technology, but they are really good at it. At the same time, we have large enterprises having divisions in 10, 14, 15 countries across the globe and thousands of developers in their talent pool. So, for us, once we have a well-structured request, it's not a big deal to cover the need because we have over 2,000 partners in our network, and you can, multiply the amount of their employees accordingly. But maybe it's also important to mention that I don't really see that shortage of global talents currently because the market is evolving slightly, and you have even economical cycles and it's related. So sometimes you have lots of projects and there is a demand for developers, and then it goes like this, after a while you have shortage of projects, and let's say, I can't say too many developers, but I mean that maybe not all developers are engaged in the projects, and there are more people looking for these projects rather than projects looking for developers. So currently I see exactly that phase. And of course, the reason is not one. There are a couple of reasons. Among them, it's also geopolitical situation, economical situation, and many other factors that impact that, right? But additionally, I would say AI facilitates that part a lot because even what I see on people who are qualified, they are starting to explore IT market, but they can't offer the same value that can be offered by some senior developers. And of course, as a business, you are coming with a dream that in ideal world you would have everything like implemented yesterday. And with AI, they're trying to experiment a lot themselves. And you just simply see that for some tasks, expectations are really high. And companies want, the developers either use AI to speed up the process or they're experimenting themselves. So I wouldn't say that it's a gap of short or shortage, but maybe slightly different. The market is shaping, the trend is slightly shaping, and the developers now more have a challenge to catch up with that trend.
That's a good point because the reason why I asked this question was under at the moment I'm speaking like I'm expanding my network in fintech,
Mhm.
and quite a big number of companies wanted to remove like the junior position of developers and replace it with let's say with the codex from ChatGPT
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
Cursor, so could so AI could replace the junior people
For
that
manual tasks, for some
yes,
small routine tasks. Mhm.
Yes, but you mentioned like that AI must help, and that's like totally agree with that. So yeah, that's a good point. Um,
I mean, if you
okay,
know how to use that in a good way, it's a helping tool. Otherwise, it just replaces you if you use that for the very, very narrow tasks and for such a basics where it can be easily automated.
yes, yeah, totally automated maybe, but it depends. Of course, it depends. Um, the next question that's regarding the first ones, because what strategies does your company employ to maintain a balance between, let's say, uh, quality and quantity as it like scales its platform to meet the growing demand of IT services? So yeah, how do you handle this?
Despite the fact that we have lots of service providers on Aciety's network, we are actually quality oriented rather than quantity oriented. And this is why exactly we do that screening of partners before they join Aciety. This is exactly why we still combine automations and personal communication with our partners on a daily basis. And actually, partners love that because for routine tasks, we use AI, we use automations, we use the easy way to gather or analyze big amounts of data. But it's also important for them that they can anytime, call us, ask for some advice, ask for some insights, or just, have a catch up on the latest offer that they submitted and maybe get some additional even insights on how it can be improved for one or another client. So I would say our success story is basically a good combination of AI, automations, and personal touch because it's really important. It's really important. And also, it's important for our partners, such as Eliftech, that we don't act as a marketplace where each company can try to approach the request. No, we do that in a slightly different way, meaning that from 2,000 partners, only 2 to 5 partners have an opportunity to submit their proposals for the client, which means that they have more chances to win the deal, right? And this is attractive because you are not just pitching without any background, without any understanding, like what is the pricing, what other companies did for the same client, what offers that client has, and so on. So this is about the quality, I would say.
That's good because um, at the moment we have quite a big number of people that depends fully depends on AI and won't fully remove uh, manual work and this personal touch with the, let's say, with the clients and the people, and they are fully like depends only on the AI, so he could create everything. So but yeah, even in my work I cannot, of course I am using AI because it helps, but I cannot believe that AI can replace me, because it would be not something similar to the human touch, as I guess. So
Actually, it was an interesting situation. Like a couple of days ago, by the way, there was a ChatGPT disruption for a couple of hours, and the entire world panicked, especially those who, built everything on pure automation.
yes, and that was like I won't say total disaster, but it was like a little disaster.
But yeah,
Um,
it made people concerned.
Yes, everyone was a lot of the scaring things, like what to do. We want to work, like all of these. But I like when I guess that's also was an opportunity because you can use, let's say, your brain on the full power. So I guess that that was not so
Yeah, but
terrible.
maybe was more sensitive for companies who are directly dependent on real-time sensitive data like stocks, for instance.
Yes, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
You can't have it all, right?
Yes, but because this is the technology, and sometimes it might be like such bad things happen with the technology. So we must be ready for that. But the people that haven't for that, so it is what it
You
is.
just need to have a plan B in cases like this.
Yes, yes, Totally right. Totally right. Um, Okay, so yeah, previously you mentioned that that's quite a big number of the partners you have. So I'm truly believe that you are handling like such data analytics, and I was thinking, like, how can you or does your company having plans or already like have something how to predict the future performance of the developers for your clients IT companies, and how does this affect like the selection process? So you could yeah, go ahead.
Again, I would probably rather stick to companies than developers because what we do is we link parties to communicate directly, meaning that clients communicating directly with our partners. And we are out of this loop for most of the cases. We more remain in the background just to make sure that the process is smooth, both parties are happy with the collaboration, and if any intervenience from our side is needed, we just simply step in to help parties put everything back on track. So we might not have that much information in details about the performance of each developer separately, and this is something that partners are handling directly on their side with the customers. However, we definitely have analytics on how our partners are performing and how companies are working in general. For example, we have several evaluation stages internally. The first stage is to understand how many surveys or how many leads the partner received from Aciety in total. Then the second metrics is how many of these clients chose to have introduction with that company, because even if you propose some offer, doesn't mean that the company will choose to have an introduction with you and proceed further. And the third step is, of course, closing the deal and collaborating together. So combining all these three steps gives a really nice overview of how partners are closing the deals, what is the probability that this company will close the deal. Another part is also related to soft skills, but actually that comes more from experience of working with each of these partners, because despite the fact that the company can have brilliant technical team, it's not necessarily that they will always communicate in a shape that is acceptable for the client. So this is also, being taken into consideration each time we are doing some analytics. And of course, last but not least, it's analytics of proposals, partners proposals. I mean, because even if you have like two, three, five offers, you are checking, you are screening every of these offers. Something is done automatically, but you still have to double check. And for me personally, it's very important how carefully these partners read the information about the lead, because there is a great difference. Some companies are just skimming through and trying, to do what I can. I'll just pitch what I have, no matter that the client needs only half of that, maybe. Or likewise, I only have half of the skills that the client is expecting from me, right? And the others are really reading the descriptions carefully, just trying to respond to the client in each smallest detail. So over time, you can just see that very well. And when you are comparing these offers, it's super visible. So the next time, of course, you will know who you will need for more detailed approach. And likewise, sometimes there are clients who are expecting maybe for some rough estimation just to understand how much of the funding they need to attract, and they can move forward then from that point. So for some ranges, for some rough estimation, this skimming through might be also convenient. So for each case with different needs, you just try to make a custom approach and try to how to say, find the best matching partner, because for non-technical clients you are choosing companies who are able to speak human language. For super technical companies, you won't, of course, suggest someone who talks a lot, does little.
Yeah.
So all that is, of course, tracked on our system with some additional insights, remarks, and over time, you simply know that, oh, okay, this company is strong with that, and that company can be handy if the case is ABC, you name that.
So yeah, that's also good points because I was interested in like as your company expands it reach on the globe, and I was interested about what challenges that does your company face, and in maintaining in the quality of service across different markets, and again, how do you handle such challenges? Because it's quite a big amount of work. So
So of course, automation always helps, and just like I mentioned earlier, for some technical keywords and technical searches, we do have that very convenient search with all the filters and all the additional information that we need about each of these companies. In terms of maybe communication between companies, sometimes cultural differences matter significantly, and let's just assume that you have a German customer and a Spanish service provider. So, there is a challenge for them to find the common ground because uh, Germans usually are very well structured, very rigid, and so on. And for Spanish people, well, they are more flexible, maybe more chatty, more open-minded, and for them, to have that common ground sometimes might be quite a challenge. But of course, it's not impossible. It's just you just try to adjust to other parties' expectation, and once you know how to shape your proposal or know how to shape your work, it gets easier. So in terms of technical aspects, we don't have like many challenges because we have a very wise IT team who is really thinking 3 to 5 steps ahead with each development. And in terms of matching parties, you just have to keep in mind some common sense, first of all. And of course, communication is the key as well. Because each time you are presenting someone, you are just mentioning key things like, for instance, just be aware that this partner is very technical. So if you want more flexibility or if you want more anything else, let me know. I will just try to adjust with the situation accordingly.
Um, so yeah, you mentioned like the culture point, so that's true. And regarding the German uh, workers, German people, that's totally true. Because previously I had also chat with them, and they were all, let's say, all that I had like a 15 or 20 calls with them, but everyone was like um, straight to the point. They are good people, of course, good people. We had like talks and all of this stuff, but they always been like straight to the point and business on the
Yeah, just the
business.
approach.
Yes, yes, totally right. Um, so okay, Alina, I'm truly appreciate your time for this webinar, and we would be glad to meet you again. We will prepare everything for the next webinar.
I'm always happy to explore, the new potential topics.
That sounds great because we honestly wanted to make like the second part, and I hope that I will handle this the next time. So
Yeah, that would be great.
yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. So yeah, Alina, much appreciate for your time. It was truly pleasure to speak with you, and I will say that we will meet again.
Likewise, Elia. Thank you.